Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to continue with the CSR NET JRF Chemical Science June 2017 Part C, Series 4. Earlier, we already completed Series 1, 2, 3 in the previous session, where we are going to discuss about Chemical Science of June 2017. In each series, 10 questions will be recorded. And it will be very much helpful because previous year question paper, all these are the standard question papers, which will be helpful for competitive exams and also entrance examinations, right? So all the questions will be explained in the detailed manner, including mechanism and everything. So let us enter into our actual concept. In today's session, we are going to cover 10 questions from 91 to 100. Question number 91. The specific rotation alpha for S plus 2 butanol is 10 degrees milliliter per gram decimeter. The observed optical rotation alpha observed of sample composed of mixture of R and S2 butanol is minus 0.45 degrees. If the cell path length is 0.6 decimeter and the concentration to butanol sample is 0.15 gram per ml, the percentage of R and S enantiomers in the sample are. Okay. So in the given problem, we have to predict what is the composition of R isomer, what is the composition of S isomer. R S notations are the optical notations which are provided by using Kahn-Ingold-Prelog rules. Okay, how extent of R isomer and S isomer is present in the given compound we have to predict. Which compound is given? 2-butanol compound was given to us, and its specific rotation is value is also given, right? So let us predict. Let us go with the parameters which are provided within the problem. Rotation, observed rotation for S plus 2-butanol is 10 degrees, which is given in the problem, right? Then A absorption, okay, A absorption for the mixture is minus 0.45, right? So a sample composed of mixture of butanol is 0.45. So minus 0.45 is degree of absorption by this A isomer, right? So if I is equal to 0.6, concentration is 0.15, then specific rotation value, limitation from 0 to T temperature, it is given as observed rotation by length into concentration. What is the formula for specific rotation? Specific rotation is equal to observed rotation by length into concentration. Observed rotation is given as 0.45 and length of the system is 0.6. Concentration is given as 0.15. After substituting all the values, we will get the specific rotation, that is minus 5 degrees. What is the specific rotation value? Minus 5 degrees. Then we have to predict S isomer contribution and the R isomer contribution. For that purpose, first enantiomeric excess formula we have to calculate. N is equal to alpha mixture by alpha pure, means specific rotation of the mixture by specific rotation of the pure compound is equal to specific rotation of the mixture is given as minus 5 degrees by pure compound is given as minus 10 degrees into, so it is in pure percentage form, that's why into 100, right? So it will become 50% excess. Enantiomeric excess is 50%. Now it is very simple to predict R isomer contribution, that is given as 50 plus 50 by 2. So 50 plus 50 by 2, then after the calculation, it will become 75%. Then if R isomer 75 and the remaining will be S isomer, that is 25% S isomer will left over in this reaction mixture, right? So based on the specific rotation, we are going to predict percentage of R isomer, percentage of S isomer present in the given mixture of the enantiomers. Okay, so for question number 91, so what is R isomer? 75, S will be 25. 75, 25 provided in the option number 4. That's why question number 91, option number 4 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 92. Again, it is a part of organic chemistry. Here, Grignard reagent is applied. So another reagents also provided, so that what will be the product. So Nor-Bornein system is given, and this Nor-Bornein system having side chain of alkyl halide and vinyl group is there. Upon treating with magnesium metal, carbon dioxide gas, so acidified water, then COCl whole twice, triethylamine base. By treating with all these sequential reagents, what will be the final product that we have, right? For that purpose, first let us prepare Grignard reagent, right? So any alkyl halide, let us consider this is a alkyl halide because CH2Br is there, hence it is considered as a alkyl halide. Alkyl halide upon treating with magnesium metal in ether solvent, what happens? That is converted into alkyl magnesium halide, which is called a Grignard reagent, right? So this CH2Br will be inserted with magnesium, right? So when the CH2MgBr is there, this is regarded as a Grignard reagent. So by this magnesium insertion, R, that is nothing but this entire group will become R and magnesium bromine will be there. So CH2MgBr will be generated, and further subsequent reaction with carbon dioxide gas. Upon treating with carbon dioxide, what happens? Always Grignard reagent, what will be the polarity? Magnesium will retain positive charge. Alkyl group is associated with negative. Now, this alkyl working like a nucleophile and attached to the carbonylic center of this carbon dioxide. Upon reaction of this negative charge in the carbon dioxide carbon, what happens? This turned into CH2C double bond O minus, and subsequent magnesium bromide group will be discarded in this reaction. Right? So we got carboxylate. Carboxylate. Further protonation, this turned into a carboxylic acid. We got acid now. In the next reaction, Cl C double bond O Cl will be added. Okay, so this is the compound when added. What happens? This carboxylic acid turned into acid chloride. So this will be turned into acid chloride. How it is possible? Let us see. Here CH2C double bond OH is the polar functional group where O minus and H plus will be there, right? So that we can incorporate this group here. How can we incorporate? Cl minus will be eliminated and this O minus will be bounded to this C double bond O group. So that C double bond O, C double bond O, C double bond O, Cl will be generated. And subsequently, we can discard this. We can discard this carbon dioxide molecule and 2 moles of carbon monoxide, so that it turned into, so being it is highly sterically hindered. Why we can say this is highly sterically hindered? Here C double bond O group is there, adjacent oxygen will be there, and adjacent C double bond O, adjacent C double bond O. These many oxygens at the same position will not be preferable because each oxygen is associated with 2 lone pair of electrons and their compact arrangement is not at all preferable. That's the reason why it immediately involved in the dissociation. How it will be? One of the carbon dioxide here, O, C double bond O, this entire thing is converted into CO. Remaining this CO is carbon monoxide. This chloro group will be added to this C double bond O. Hence, it is a chloride. So, upon treating with Cl, C double bond O, C double Cl, what happens? The carboxylic acid turns acid chloride through this intermediate. So simply you can write, so directly acid chloride obtained. This acid chloride now treated with triethylamine base. Triethylamine base is the mild base which used to abstract this active methylene hydrogens. Here we have hydrogens which are directly linked with electron withdrawing carbonyl. That's the reason why here H plus is easily pulled by mild base tertiary amine, so that we got carbene. This carbene easily bonded to olefinic double bond in this manner, and there is a possibility of new carbon-carbon single bond here. Whenever bond shifted, here we will experience, whenever this here negative charge is forming bond, right? That's why this pi bond is polarized towards this end carbon. So here carbene, another carbene will be originated. So this another carbene having provision to bind with carbonylic center of acid chloride, Whenever it bonds carbonylic center, subsequent release of chloro group is possible. So that here we will get a condensed product. So such a kind of compound is generated where we got new carbon-carbon single bond by this carbanion attachment to carbonyl. This will be the final product. Let us see in which option this is satisfying. In option number 4, we got the expected product. So that's the reason why for question number 92, option number 4 will be the right answer. Yes, let us move on to next question, where it is given with secondary amine and also pyridine 3 pyridine 3 aldehyde, right? So pyridine 3 aldehyde and also secondary amine is given. So here PTSA is given benzene solvent under reflex conditions. The product is given. What will be the product? Here aldehyde presented third position will be attached with the secondary amine so that saturated pyrrole, that means derivative is generated. So an alkyl group remains as such. So what happened? This entire group attached here and it is turned into what? Pyrrolidine derivative. Then starting material, product, reagent, reaction conditions, everything is provided. Only the thing required is what kind of sequential reaction pathway we followed. What are the named reactions involved in this series? Right? In order to predict this kind of named reactions involved in this, we have to go with its a mechanism. Let us see the mechanism. We are taking secondary amine. Upon treating with this pyridine 3 carbaldehyde. So what happens? Lone pair of electrons and the oxygen bounded to nitrogen. So lone pair of electrons will be bounded to nitrogen. So that here we got double bond nitrogen, and the remaining group whatever present on the nitrogen remains as such, and further we perform 3,3 sigma tropic rearrangement. This involved in 3,3 sigma tropic rearrangement. Which atoms participated? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So these many atoms, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, these many atoms participated, so that it is converted into this kind of intermediate product where we have nitrogen double bond and 4 bonds around the nitrogen. Hence we can say it is the kind of quaternary ammonium salt, right? And here vinyl group is there. Further they involved in ring cyclization reaction. Upon ring cyclization, we got 5-membered ring through the process called Mannich reaction. Here the reaction which is involved is called the Mannich reaction, right? So here 3,3 sigma tropic rearrangement, which is called Azacope rearrangement, and followed by Mannich reaction get performed in the reaction. So that final product, this pyridine pyrrolidine derivative will be generated. So option number 2 is the exact named reactions which participated in this reaction. For question number 93, option number 2 will be the right answer. Okay. So whenever this pyridine 3 carbaldehyde is added to secondary amine, lone pair of electrons of oxygen attached to nitrogen, and subsequently 3,3 sigma tropic rearrangement, and followed by Mannich reaction get carried, so that final product is obtained, right? Let us see next question. Question number 94. The intermediate A and major product B formed in the following reaction. Here is the reaction given, where organic compound having double bond, any other double bond with the iodo functional group, and palladium diacetate, triphenylphosphine, silver carbonate. These are the reagents added. Compound A will be formed and subsequently it rearranges to give compound B. We have to predict what are the intermediate and the final product A and B in this series of reactions. Let us go with its mechanism. We are taking starting material. We are taking a starting material where iodo group is there. So this iodo group is added with palladium diacetate, so the palladium will be inserted in between. when M is inserted, so what happened? This having strong provision to mobilize. How it will be here? We have double bond, and this double bond participate in the ring cyclization, and this palladium will be here, so that, so being it is a bulky group, palladium and it's a another substituents present upon this. So all these are regarded as a bulky group. Hence, attachment takes place from the back end. So palladium iodide will be attached from the back end. That will be the compound A. And here this side chain now turned into a 5-membered ring system with one double bond. Already double bond is there within the reaction. So that here 5-membered ring will be originated because of ring closure. And this palladium iodide will be generated at this center. So this is regarded as a compound A. Then what we will do? We will perform beta-syn elimination. Here, hydrogen will be discarded from the center and palladium iodide will be eliminated. Now we will get carbon-carbon double bond at this position. Here it will be turned into carbon-carbon double bond. Already one double bond is there, one more double bond is also generated. The stereochemistry of this palladium and methyl group is anti with respect to each other, because palladium is a bulky group which is coming from the back end. Hence, this methyl simultaneously moving up so that it is indicated with the wedge bond, right? So that's the reason why the final product methyl front side and these two double bonds are present within the ring structure. Let us see which option satisfying these statements. Here palladium is back end, and here we have methyl front side. This is a correct statement only, and already one of the double bond is there within the reaction. And in the compound B, we got a new double bond at this position by the beta-syn elimination process, and methyl group is towards the VR. So option 1 is satisfying the entire question, right? So for question number 94, option 1 will be the right answer. Let us move on to next question, 95. We are taking tertiary amine here, and dicarbonyl groups are present within the molecule, and dibutyl BOTF, right? So this is regarded as dibutyl boryl trifluoromethane sulfonate. What is the reagent? Dibutyl boryl trifluoromethane sulfonate is the reagent provided. It is a very specific reagent for the synthesis of enolates. So in the presence of this reagent, enolates will be generated. For that purpose, we are using this reagent, right? And the next triethylamine mild base is added, benzaldehyde will be added, lithium hydroxide, followed by hydrogen peroxide and water, right? So reaction sequence, what will be the final product we have to predict. So sequential reactions to be carried. First, we have to generate enolate because it is the enolate generating agent. Further condensation with benzaldehyde, and base will be added hydrogen peroxide and subsequent hydrolysis with water. The final product will be obtained. Let us see the mechanism. In this reaction, we are taking a 5-member ring system, which is called pyrrolidine, right? So this pyrrolidine system was given to us, and it will be treated with this reagent, which is an enolating agent. Upon treating with enolating agent, here you can regard this carbon as an active methylene center because directly linked with carbon. So here hydrogens will be easily discarded so that carbene will be generated. Here you got carbene. So generated carbene having provision to participate in tautomerism, which is called ketoenol tautomerism. Upon ketoenol tautomerism, there is an enolate formation. This is the purpose of Be2BOTF. Enolate will be generated. Later, it will be added with benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde will be condensed at the center. These electrons will be back polarized. Carbene will be originated. This carbene will be added to this benzaldehyde, and there is a formation of product in this manner. Now, what we will do here, we have amide linkage. So this 5-membered ring consisting nitrogen and the molecule containing here the cleavage of bond by hydrolysis process. What will be the process? Hydrolysis. Amide bond is simply cleaved so that it turned into carboxylic acid, and this ring structure is converted into secondary amine. And what will be the stereochemistry? Methyl and OH both are in the back side only, right? So pH is there, OH backside, and this terminal carboxylic acid will be originated. This will be the final product. Okay. So what will be the product? How many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3 carbon chain with the phenyl group, right? So what we can say? Second, third position. So hydroxy, methyl, which will get priority, hydroxy group. So that, so 2, 3, 3 hydroxy, 3 hydroxy, 2 methyl, 3 phenyl, but what? Propanoic acid. So this will be the name of the compound. Let us predict where the compound is there. Methyl and OH both should be in the same side. Methyl and OH are on the same side. So option number 2 is having this kind of arrangement. So option number 2 will be the right answer. So let us discuss in brief. We are taking tertiary amine here. So upon treating with Be2BOTF, what it will do, it will generate carbene at this position and it will be stabilized by enolate formation. And further treating with benzaldehyde, it will be condensed at this position. And further, what we will do? Hydrolysis reaction get carried so that here cleavage is possible and this chain is turned into a carboxylic acid moiety. Option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 96. Here, 3-membered ring system was given. On nitrogen, we have benzyl functional group. The chain will be ester. Now it is treated with a compound of alpha beta unsaturated. Alpha beta unsaturated system was treated here, and both will be reacted at 175 degrees centigrade in non-polar toluene solvent in the sealed tube. Okay, so sealed container, we are going to treat these two at elevated temperature. Let us see what will be the product. So this 3-membered ring structure was given to us at 175 degrees centigrade. What it will do, it will be participated in ring opening. Whenever ring opening reaction get carried, there is a generation of carbene ion, and nitrogen already have lone pair of electrons at this position. Loss of electrons will be there by this nitrogen atom, so that here these two get attached with this double bond. These two centers will be attached with this double bond, right? So whenever this reaction get carried, there is a formation of a 5-membered ring structure. 5-membered ring structure originated. So this generated 5-membered ring structure will be right. So this is an arrangement. Whenever we are in this 3-membered ring, so already we know. So ring is highly strained in nature. What we are employing? High temperature conditions are applied so that ring opening is more feasible. So that the ring electrons will be migrated and nitrogen is acquiring positive and carbon negative, so that here 1, 2, 3, these 3 centers are participating bond formation with here olefinic double bond which is present adjacent to this carbonylic center. This is highly mobile nature, so that it will participate in the ring closure reaction with this one. So here there is a formation of a 5-membered ring structure containing heteroatom of nitrogen. So upon nitrogen, what we have, benzyl group is there, that benzyl is indicated. And we have COOMe group on another carbon atom here, another carbon COOMe is there. The next carbon we have, this is given from another functional group. So another reacting species. So how many carbons? 1, 2 carbons are there and followed by OTMDS. It is protected with the TBDMS, right? So that side chain is also present in them. So at this 5th carbon atom, we have acetyl group. That acetyl group will be there, right? So this is about the cyclization reaction which is carried in this reaction. So let us see where the such a kind of cyclization process get carried and what will be the product. So in the option number 3, you can observe this entire addition. So option number 3, you can observe this entire addition reaction. So for question number 96, option number 3 will be the right answer. Let's move on to Question number 97. The most stable conformation for the following compound is, okay. So for cyclohexane, whenever cyclohexane system was taken, how many kind of conformations are possible? So cyclohexane exists in, first one is called chair form, second one is called boat form, third one is called twist boat form, fourth one is called half chair. So these are the four possible forms of cyclohexane. Cyclohexane can exist in all these four kind of structures: chair, boat, twist boat, and half chair. So these many possibilities are there. Among all, highest stability is provided for chair form. If cyclohexane is in chair form, that will be more stable. And the least stability is provided for half chair form. So in the structure, we can clearly observe this is called chair form. This is called boat form. This is called twist boat form. And this is called half chair. All the four conformations are provided in the structure only. Okay. So here the compound is given where we have two different functional groups. So two are hydroxy functional groups. Remaining two are tertiary butyl groups are provided within the, right? So these tertiary butyl groups are highly bulky groups, so that they should be arranged in a manner where repulsions get minimized, and two hydroxy groups should be arranged in a position so that we can facilitate hydrogen bonding between these two. That should be the arrangement. In general, chair form will be the most stable, but for this molecule, we can exceptionally go with any other modification, any other structural representation rather than chair form. Blindly, we are not supposed to indicate chair form for this. Okay, even chair form is highest stable, but there is other constraints. What constraints we have? Two bulky groups are there and two hydroxy groups are there. This will give a unique situation where we have to apply another structural transformation where the possibility will be repulsions will be minimized and higher stability should be provided to the molecule. So if we are taking molecule in the chair form in this manner, so what happens? Two bulky groups are inclined in this way. So two bulky groups, tertiary butyl groups, if present in this 1,4-diaxial is said to be cis conformation, so that high steric hindrance will be there. This is not at all preferable, even though we can say chair form is the highest stable form, but for this structure it is not applicable. Only the possibility is what kind we are adopting. We are adopting this type of boat form, right? So when we are applying this twist boat form, so it is not the straight boat, it is the twisted boat form. In this twisted boat form, what happens? Hydroxy groups are inclined in such a way where there is a close proximity and hydrogen bonding provision is there. Whenever any molecule is participated in the hydrogen bonding, it will give the extra stability to the molecule. Because of this reason only, water existing in liquid state in general in our nature, right? So that's the reason why hydrogen bonding will facilitate the stability for this molecule. And you can clearly observe in this molecule, in this twist boat, two bulky groups are inclined in a equatorial manner. Both the groups are in equatorial manner, so that entire steric hindrance can be totally minimized. So the possible adaptation for this structure will be option number 2, where we have twist boat form, 2 hydroxy. Here you can clearly observe 2 hydroxy are in the close proximity, so that we have hydrogen bonding between these two, and 2 bulky tertiary butyl groups are in the equatorial position. Bulky groups equatorial position is more preferable. So entire repulsions will be minimized. For question number 97, option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on to next question, 98. It is a part of spectroscopic analysis, right? So here IR data, proton NMR, and even C13 NMR data is provided to us. Based on this data, we have to elucidate what is the suitable structure for the given compound, right? The correct structure of the compound based on the following characteristic spectral data. IR is 1736. 1736 corresponds to carbonyl group. In all four compounds, it is given as C double bond O O, C double bond O O, C double bond O O, C double bond O. That means it is a kind of ester functional group. This will depict it is the ester functional group. So, proton NMR data is given 3.59 singlet 3 hydrogens. 3.59 is the characteristic peak for methoxy functional group. Where we have methoxy, we have to check. In first compound, here Br CH2, 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 C double bond O, CH2, CH3 is there. Methoxy is not there. So there is no provision. And the second one, Br CH2, 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 O, C double bond CH3. So CH3 C double bond O. This is acetyl, not methoxy. So that second option also discarded. So when we are taking third one, here methoxy group, here also methoxy. Based on this first value 3.59, we can directly predict the group is present in option number 3 and option number 4. There is a possibility of 3 and 4 both. Let us go with another values. 3.34 corresponds to 2 hydrogens. 3.32 means 2 hydrogens means these are methylene hydrogens but directly linked with a highly electronegative functional group. Then only here downfield shift will be observed. 3.32 value. 2.25 also corresponds to 2 hydrogens. Again, it is a methylene. And 1.85 to 1.71, 2 hydrogens. Again, it is a methylene. 1.73 to 1.62, again, it is a methylene group, 2 hydrogen. So that how many methylene groups are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 methylene groups should be present in the given compound. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also methylene CH2, 1, 2, only 2 are there. So directly we can conclude that option number 3 is having 4 methoxy and 1 ester linkage. So 3 will be the right answer. Let us go with detailed prediction again, where you can find here is the data provided to us. So what is the IR spectral data? 1736 confirmed there is a ester functional group within the molecule, and HNMR data is given 3.59 corresponds to methoxy. Just now we checked compound 3 and 4 have methoxy. 3.32 are 2 hydrogens. So whenever this methylene group directly linked with electronegative bromo, methylene group directly linked with electronegative bromo, this CH2 corresponds to 3.32 spectral data. This methylene gives rise to 3.32 data. And next is about 2 hydrogens at 2.25. 2.25 also downfield only. In general, methyl group and methylene group peaks will be appeared near 1 ppm only, right? But in case of 2.25, it implies what? So there is an attachment with some electronegative group. That's why 2.25 2 hydrogen corresponds to CH2 directly linked to C double bond O. Here this CH2 corresponds to 2.25. So because it is in adjacent to carbonylic functional group. 1.85 to 1.75, 2 hydrogen CH2. Remaining 2 hydrogen CH2 will be given for 1.75, 1.85, 1.73, 1.63, again 2 hydrogens. So these 2 methylene group which are not directly linked with any kind of electron withdrawing, so that you can conclude these 2 methylene groups are these 1.85 and 1.73 hydrogens. So based on this entire data, it is very clear that compound number 3 corresponds to this spectral data, right? So IR 1736 gives rise to ester. 3.59 is the characteristic peak for methoxy. 3.32, so CH2 directly linked with bromo. 2.25, CH2 linked with carbonyl. And 1.85 CH2 group. 1.73 any other CH2. And this is another additional information. C13 data is also provided, but using HNMR only we deduce the compound structure. For question number 98, option number 3 will be the right answer, right? Let us move on to question number 99. The major product formed in the reaction D-glucose with zinc chloride in methanol is a methyl glucopyranoside, ARB. The structure of the product and a molecular orbital interaction present between ring oxygen and anomeric carbon oxygen bond responsible for its stability respectively. Okay, so what we have to check, the compound is provided. What is the compound we are taking? Starting D-glucose. D-glucose was given to us. So this D-glucose treated with zinc chloride methanol. Upon treating with methanol, what happens? Here, aldehyde group is there in the topmost position, that will be converted into methoxy. So glucopyranoside will be generated. So there is a possibility of two type of pyranosides. OMe will be there in the equatorial, OMe will be there in the axial position. Either A or B will be generated. The structure of the product and molecular orbital interaction present between ring oxygen and anomeric carbon. So this is the anomeric carbon. What is mean by anomer? Anomeric center. The carbon in the entire structure of the compound, only the carbon where the geometry of the functional group will be varied. Only at one center we can consider for anomeric center. At the first carbon, if the position of groups are interchanged, that carbon is said to be an anomeric center. Here you can find equatorial methoxy, here axial methoxy will be there. One is regarded as alpha, second is regarded as beta. So these glucopyranoside molecules are regarded as, one is alpha, second is beta. Okay, that is purely beta center. Change in the geometry of only one center is called anomeric carbon. So what they are asking for, among these two, which will be more stable? Obviously, when functional group is present in the equatorial position, so if the large group is present in the equatorial position, that will impart the stability. Methoxy will be the bulky group. Compared to axial, equatorial orientation is a preferable one. So A will be more stable when compared to compound B. So one we already cleared. And one more thing we need to find out is ring oxygen and anomeric carbon. So what kind of bonding molecular orbital interaction will be there? So this oxygen and this anomeric carbon, how the linkage will be possible? This is a kind of linkage. So anomeric carbon should be linked, not methoxy functional group. So anomeric, there is a linkage between the anomeric carbon rather than methoxy functional group. There is a linkage between anomeric carbon and so this anomeric carbon and oxygen, there is a linkage is possible. Right? So this carbon to oxygen linkage is possible. How? Oxygen having non-bonding electrons in its valency shell. Oxygen having non-bonding electrons can bounded to sigma antibonding orbital of this carbon atom. This will be the MO, molecular orbital interaction between oxygen and carbon. So which compound is stable among these two? They're asking two questions in the problem. One is which is more stable anomer. So anomer 1 will be more stable when compared to B, because here equatorial inclination will give high stability. And the second is N2 sigma star kind of interaction will be more stable. Right? So this is a possibility of actually possible among these two. Oxygen to this anomeric carbon, what will be the possible interaction? Non-bonding electrons of oxygen bonded to sigma antibonding orbital of this anomeric center both get interacted, then only MOT diagram will be formed. So for question number 99, option number 1 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 100, where we have last question of the series. Among the following correct statement for the nucleic acids, right? So nucleic acids are deoxyribonucleic acid, and another is ribonucleic acid. DNA is present in all human beings. RNA is present in plant species. So even in human beings, DNA, RNA both are present, but in a plant species, only RNA kind of genetic matter will be there, right? So these are regarded as a DNA basis. Can be categorized into two types. One is a purine base, second is pyrimidine base. Purine bases are bicyclic system. Pyrimidine bases are 1,3 nitrogen containing 6-membered ring structures. Okay, there are two purine structures are there. One is adenosine, second is guanine. So in pyrimidines we have thymine and cytosine. Based on their linkage only genetic matter will be there. Everybody are imparted by the genetic matter based on their orientation. So they are able to form a triplet codons. Based on that attachment of triplet codons only, each and every person have their genetic code. Some of the properties are getting from the hereditary manner, and either new unique genetic code is also generated within the person based on their arrangement of purine and pyrimidine bases only. So these four statements are given to us. Uracil is present in DNA. What base is present in DNA? Adenosine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. These four, A, G, T, C. These are the bases which are present in DNA, but not uracil. So that this will not be a correct statement. And the second is about uracil. So uracil is present in RNA. This is a correct statement. Let us see. So DNA versus RNA. So DNA bases are adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. Then RNA bases are adenine, guanine, cytosine, uracil. Only the difference is instead of thymine, uracil base will be there. Okay, instead of thymine, uracil base will be there. That is called RNA. DNA will be thymine base. Okay, so this kind of arrangement is present so that uracil is found in RNA rather than DNA. So this will be the correct statement only. And let us go with another two options also. Phosphorylation in RNA is at 2 and 5th position. So in general, RNA phosphorylation is possible 5 to 5 positions, not 2 to 5 positions. What is the condition? 5 to 5 position phosphorylation reaction get carried here. And the fourth one, normally 3 hydrogen bonds stabilized adenine thymine base pair. So adenine thymine stabilized by 2 hydrogen bonds, but not 3 hydrogen bonds. Okay, so in this way, among all the given options, only the option number 2 will satisfy. It will be the correct answer. Uracil is not present in DNA, rather you can find a thymine. Uracil is present in RNA. This is the correct statement. Phosphorylation is accompanied by 5 to 5 position attachment. So 2 hydrogen bonds will be there, adenine thymine base pair. So the right option will be option number 2. For question number 100, option number 2 will be the right answer. By this, we completed the series. Thank you very much for your patience listening.